You are super active on social media, but here is the problem. You're not seeing all of those leads coming in that you expected. Now, sit back and ask yourself this one question. What are you doing wrong? Hey there, my friend. Welcome back to another episode on the More Than Social podcast, where we spend really a lot of our time talking about growing our business. And I give you a lot of tips to do that in the online world. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. My name's Lisa. I am so grateful that you joined us here today. Make sure to post on social media that you are listening and tag me at Lisa Ann Coaching so I can officially welcome you to the community. Today, you are in for an interesting episode as we're going to talk about social media content, all the creation behind it, and really the impact that that has on lead generation. There's been a lot of misconception going on for entrepreneurs and content creators, just like you and I, especially when it comes to the relevance of your reach and your leads. Okay. All the leads that you actually get out of your content. Now, by the end of this episode, my entire goal is really to help you understand the relevance of both and what it really takes to get your content in front of the right people who will actually turn into leads, not just followers. So, for starters, let's talk about the real problem here. You see, there's this concept that people think just by pumping out content on social media that it's automatically going to turn all of those people into leads for their business. But let me tell you, it is so dang far from the truth. And actually, just last week, I was talking to an interior designer. She has a lot of content online. And I mean, she's actually posting 3 times a day on Instagram and on TikTok. Okay. She has over 10,000 followers. And guess what? She rarely generates leads from social media. Like, how does that actually happen? So let me tell you this right here, right now. Pay attention, okay? It is not just about posts on social media with your fingers crossed that leads are going to come in. If it was that easy, all of us would have multiple 6 or 7 figure businesses the moment that we decide to start posting on social media. It's about being active, yes, but it's also making sure that you're pushing out the right content, okay? And I want you to think quality and relevance versus quantity. Now, the question is, why doesn't it actually work that way? Why doesn't social media content always just turn into leads for most people? And based on my experience, it really all boils down to one really, really key factor: understanding and speaking directly to your dream audience. So, if you're part of my Spotlight Theory program, or maybe you've joined any of my trainings that I've done so far this year, this is that CAP principle that I keep talking about to you. Who is that catch for you? So, first, I want you to ask yourself right now, are you generating leads through social media? And I want you to be honest with yourself. If not, ask yourself if you are trying to fish for any fish in the sea. Okay, so if so, you need to understand one thing. And honestly, if you take really anything away from this episode, it's this: you need to understand that instead of casting a wide net and just hoping for the best out of social media, you need to tailor your content to resonate really deeply with the people that you actually want to reach out to the most. Sounds easy, right? Sounds really straightforward. But in most cases, it's definitely easier said than done. But I promise you, this is the first secret to really unlocking reach, the engagement, in generating those leads that you're looking for by posting on social media for your business. And I mean, that's really why we're posting in the first place, right? We're looking to grow our business. We're not just posting for the sake of posting. I got you. I completely understand. But to help you understand this even more, let's dive into these principles of really how do you actually speak to that dream client of yours. And what I'm about to share with you is the exact same conversation that I have with all of my clients now for 9 years. So don't worry if you feel like I'm kind of calling you out right now. This is definitely something that is really overlooked by so many people. But today, we're going to change all of this for you. I kind of feel like this broken record saying this, but what you really need to hear right now is when you are speaking to everyone on social media based on your content, what you're doing is actually talking to no one. A generic approach, yeah, you may be reaching a wider audience, but you are losing out on one key concept that we are looking for based on social media: connection. You gotta make sure that you're resonating with who you actually want to target. And trust me, when you focus on creating content that really, really speaks to that dream client on a very, very specific topic or problem, the people that you really want to work with at the end of the day, they're gonna start to attract to you. So it's easier also to really cut through the noise and really connect with your audience on a deeper level versus just all the people out there. Now, second thing, it's also really, really important that you understand that dream person's specific needs, their interests of that target audience. So, to do this, you really need to do a deep dive market research and you're going to want to analyze the demographics of who you want to work with and really get into the main pain points that really, really keep your dream clients up at night. So, why would they actually want to consume your content? What do they really need from you? How can you help them in a certain way? When you can speak directly to the needs, the interests of that dream client that you want to attract, you're going to resonate with them. But what you're also doing is you're positioning yourself as this solution to their problem versus just this other voice in the crowd. Now, the goal of social media is to figure out how do you actually stand out. And the more that you can personalize your content, the better reach, the better exposure, the better engagement you're going to get. Like, really, what you want to happen is when someone reads your content, you want them to think that you're talking directly to them. So think about how can you call out your dream clients, share stories that they can relate to, answer questions that are literally sitting in the back of their mind. And another actually really, really important piece that I want you to be aware of, you got to be yourself. Seriously, just show up, share about your life, share about your lifestyle, just be yourself. And I'm not saying that you have to share every single thing that you do in your life or come on and cry when you're upset, but an easy way to think about this is just start thinking about what you would share to a stranger on an airplane. Okay. What would you share about your life if they asked, what are you all about? Put that on social media. So you not only are going to stand out and show up as this expert because you're talking directly to those dream people, but they're going to start to feel like they know you. And now here's the best part, which is kind of bringing all of this kind of into a full circle at this point. What does all of this actually have to do with lead generation? We're still posting content on social media at the end of the day, yes. But what's going to happen is when you start to talk about the problems, the wants, the desires of that dream audience, that dream client, and you become that expert that they trust, when they see you as that solution to their issues, they're more likely to take action and become your client for your business. So as you work on your social media plan, I really want you to keep this in mind. It's not about talking to every single person out there, but speaking directly to those who really count. Your dream audience is the key, really, to making the most of your social media and potentially even getting the amount of leads that you desire. And we're talking from a really high level approach right now. But I want you to get to know them. I want you to actually connect with people. That's the biggest thing that people are missing out on, the connection, and see how your leads are going to start to flow in. Now, another thing I keep seeing over and over and over again is people saying that you have to post multiple times a day to even be seen anymore. Now, yes, there is some truth to that, and I'm definitely not an organic marketer, but in my opinion, I would rather focus on putting out quality content that speaks directly to my dream client versus rushing and pushing out as much content as I can just so I'm posting multiple times a day. And actually, a couple weeks ago, I didn't post for an entire week on my feed. I randomly posted my stories. I wasn't in the mood. I still generated leads. I still grew my business. I still grew my audience, my followers. So I don't really care how much I'm posting right now on social media. I post when I feel like I need to post. Now, another thing that I stopped doing was chasing trends. Okay. It's like, I'm not a content creator. That's definitely not what I do. That's not why I started my business. I'm not trying to be an influencer on social media. I'm here to help my audience. I'm here to grow my business. I'm here to make a bigger impact on this world and really help people scale their business. So instead of jumping on every single trend, what I do is I focus again on creating the right content for my dream client. Now, if whatever trend is floating around, if it fits into my mix, yes, I'll jump on it. Versus the other way around, which is what I used to do. I'm not creating content around what's trending just to try to fit into that box, try to fit into the bubble, what everyone tells you to do. So, for example, if a trend is doing some dance or pulling a prank on someone, if it would not help my audience in some way, shape, or form, or entertain them in the right way, I'm not going to do it just for the sake of doing a trend. I find what happens is that you can actually confuse your messaging. So remember, relevance is key. Your audience is not looking just for another cookie cutter post or a cookie cutter platform to follow or account to follow that's really generic. Your audience is looking for solutions to their problems, stories that resonate with their experience, and content that actually adds value to their lives. And this is something that changed. People used to follow people all the time, but now people are particular with who they actually follow. So you want to focus on positioning yourself as this trusted authority in your niche. But don't try to be everything for everyone. Really, really find what sets your content apart and leverage your uniqueness so that you can speak directly to your ideal client, just as you would if you were in person. So try making content that really sticks with these people and really helps you actually stand out. So, again, useful tips. Talk about common problems. Give them advice that they can actually use to get them to come back to your content. That way, you're actually building these real connections with your audience at last. Okay, so now that we've covered the importance of focusing on relevance versus hopping on every single trend that comes across your platform, let's actually focus on shifting our mindset a bit, okay? Moving from that fixation on views or follower counts versus converting your followers into actual leads for your business. Now, I want to clear this up with you. Most entrepreneurs who put out content for their brand, they think that the views, that the followers mean that they're going to be successful or not. Now, yes, I get it. Those numbers, they may seem important on the front end. I'm here to tell you they are not everything. The real deal is when you can actually turn your views and your followers into actual leads for your business. Those leads are what's going to keep your business growing. It's as simple as that. You could have 1 million followers, have 0 leads. It's wild. But if your goal is to get leads, I want you to use social media as a tool to grab this attention and then, as quickly as you possibly can, get them off of social media as a lead. Okay. So you need people who are actually interested in your offer, not just watching what you put out there in the world. These people are so much more valuable than just people watching from the sidelines, people that don't actually have any intention to work with you. So, how do you actually turn those followers into leads? Well, it all begins with what are you actually sharing online? And think about the difference between entertaining posts and ones that give real value. Well, putting out entertaining content, yes, it may get some more views, it may get some more likes, but it doesn't necessarily get people inside of your sales funnel at the end of the day. You need to focus on putting out value driven content that actually speaks to the needs, speaks to the pain points of that dream client. And I feel like people have been talking all about pushing value based content for a while now. Like, this is nothing new. But I'm not just talking about putting out educational based content or these how-to pieces of content. Those are kind of being faded out right now. I'm talking about building meaningful connections, okay? So for example, let's just say for the sake of example, you're a fitness coach and your goal is to attract new clients. You can be entertaining them all day long by posting your workout videos. People, yes, they're going to follow you. And yes, you definitely are inspiring people. I'm not saying that you're not. But what if you added in some exercise tips, some nutrition advice, teaching them, sharing a story of how you went from feeling this way to this way, like sharing that actual transformation? That's a really big one. People want to know where you came from so that they can envision themselves going on that same transformation. And what I find on social media, after all, is we see these transformations. And that's what's going to turn those people into leads. Now, what if you just spoke to their biggest pain point of not having time, just for this example, and you took them through your journey on how you actually worked through that? You're not necessarily saying, hey, do these 3 steps to get working out every single day. It's about helping your audience. It's about making them realize that you have gone through that journey too. And of course, another really big one, ask for the sale, ask for the leads. Telling people about how they can actually work with you. That's a big one. And remember, like I mentioned before, that interior designer who I was talking to has thousands of followers and got no leads. The accounts that I see with 500 followers, 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, those are the ones that I see generating the most leads organically. Now, the point is, the next time that you catch yourself really just obsessing with your view counts or your follower amount, remember, it's not about the numbers. It's about the quality of your followers, the people that you've actually attracted, and shifting your focus from views and leads and creating content that generally don't do anything for your audience to focusing on the value based content that's going to attract the right people. You want to have that loyal following, yes, but you want to have this solid foundation. That's what's going to give you that business growth. Now, I mentioned before the CAP principle. If you haven't trained with me before, this is something that's really easy to remember when it comes to generating leads off of social media. So I call it CAP, CAP. CAP is a strategy that I put together that stands for captivate, acknowledge, and pull off. 3 really, really important components that all work together to generate these high quality leads online. So let me just really quickly break this down for you. So first of all, we have captivate. It's all about making sure that you are attracting the right people or grabbing the attention of the right people, not just everyone and anyone on social media. It's attracting the right people. But you want to use social media to grab that attention. Remember, it's a tool to grow your business. That's how I want you to look at it. Next, we have acknowledge. This one is super important because it's all about showing to your audience that you get them. You want to acknowledge their problem. You want to listen to their feedback. You want to answer their questions. You want to really understand what they're going through. And by doing this, you're building trust and you're showing that you are actually there to help them. And finally, there's pull off. So, this is where you guide your audience just from hanging out on social media to actually becoming a lead within your business. Now, there's a lot of strategies that I can teach on this aspect, but my favorite is using a lead magnet. So, this is where you're giving away something for free in exchange for someone's contact information. That way, you get their email, you could even get their phone number, and you get them really into your marketing bubble off of social media. Now, that's a whole other conversation that we can have, but that's really CAP in a nutshell. And when you master captivating the right audience, that is the biggest key, putting out content that really acknowledges their problems and builds that connection, and then focus on really just pulling those leads off of social media, that's when you'll build a loyal group of leads who are excited to actually connect with you. And more importantly, who are excited to actually work with you. Plus, it's an easy one to remember. So think CAP. And let's remember to use social media as this tool to push your business forward. And that's it. Don't get so caught up in the numbers. Sound good, my friend? Okay, so let's wrap this up today. I am feeling a little sick if you couldn't tell, but I could honestly go on and on about this stuff. But remember today, as you are on social media, as you're creating your content, less about quantity, more about quality. Put out content that actually matters. Content that speaks directly to your dream client. Lead with value versus just jumping on every single trend. Let go of stressing about your followers or how many views you got or if your reel was going viral or not. Instead, focus on connecting with your audience. And lastly, always keep CAP in the back of your mind. And obviously, implement exactly what I just taught you, okay? I look forward to seeing everything that you implement regardless. Thank you for hanging out with me today and every single week. I greatly appreciate you. Even though I sound a little stuffy today, I'm still here to show up and I hope to give you some quick tips to really, really boost your business. Now, if you want to dive into CAP even more, I want you to head on over to learn.lisaann.ca/cap-strategy. Download that full guide. It walks you through everything you need to know. And if you ever have any questions, you know I say it every single week. I'm always here to chat. So connect with me on social media at Lisa Ann Coaching. I'm always here to talk about how to grow your business in the online world. Have the best day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.